Our speaker tonight is Mike Phillips. He is the operator of the lead team and the acting general manager of McCluskey Motors based out of Colorado Springs. Mike is a top performer and personal coach with over 20 years of sales, personal coaching, training, and management experience. Mike's early career included coaching youth and adult division hockey players, and his teams have competed at the regional and national level. This quickly transcended to coaching individuals with schoolwork, personal development, and then business work and consulting. While having sold retail products since an early age, Mike's career sales took off and really developed when entering the auto industry in 2004. From 2004 until currently, Mike has been with McCluskey Motors, family of dealerships leading business from the front with integrity and passion alongside the rest of the staff. The McCluskey name also has earned many local, statewide, and national accolades, including the Colorado Quality Dealer of the Year Award twice, and then the National Independent Automobile Dealer Association and Quality Dealer of the Year for 2013. Mike is a husband, dad, a car guy, a sales trainer, personal development coach, motivational speaker, leadership coach, and longtime business professional. And you can reach him at mike@theleadteam.net. Will you please give a warm welcome to Mike Phillips?
Thanks, Paige. How's everybody doing this evening? Good. Hey, now here's one of the things. I'm not going to stay up here to speak because I got to get out here and move around and so forth. So hopefully that's okay. I know everybody's eating, and so I'm going to try and kind of slow walk the beginning because I am going to get you all to get up. It's going to be like Catholic Church. Have you ever been to Catholic Church? Right? Get up, sit down, get up, sit down, get up, sit down. So Neil. Thank you. So, and I may ditch the mic because I have a pretty loud, everybody can hear me okay, right? So, like she said, I run a company called Lead the Team for personal development, motivational speaking. I also am the general manager for McCluskey Motors. And I am going to, do I have everybody's commitment, do I have their agreement that you guys will participate with me tonight? If you are, just raise your hand, say aye. Aye. You can speak with your mouth full for just a minute, it's okay, all right? So let me talk a little bit about myself. During these talks, when I'm talking about stuff, now Paige should have done a little more research because every once in a while I do drop an A-bomb and an F-bomb. Is that okay with everybody? I heard someone gasp. Okay, no, just to give you a heads up, it's not what you're thinking. I say things like amazing and fantastic or fabulous. It's a little joke. So that's got it. It's not the F-bomb you were thinking. So. Most of the time, now notice when I said right away and I said, oh hey, I might drop an F-bomb, someone goes, oh my goodness, I don't believe that's going to happen in a school environment. I checked with them ahead of time and they said it's okay. Did you guys know that? Yeah, so here's the thing, most people are so conditioned by society the minute we say something like that, then we start to think it's what? It's the other F-bomb rather than fantastic, right? Didn't everybody think that when I first said it? So Paige is like, oh my goodness, thanks. Right? Yeah, congratulations. Good job on that, right? So here's the thing. We're so conditioned by society. We're so conditioned the way that other people tell us to believe things. We also get influenced by other people's views of success, not our own. And so one of the things where we're talking right now about the future business leaders of America, right? It's the FBLA. Is what is your view of success? We have, how many, you said you have 21 active members, right, Paige? 21, 35, 17, 27? We'll just throw numbers out until I get it right? 45. No, I'm not calling for a door prize, right? So you have 27 active members. The thing is, what are you doing to determine what your view of success is? Because we could go around to the 27 active members, we could go around to the 40-ish, 40, 50 people in this room and say, well, hey, what does success look like to you? And you'll get 40 different answers, right? Some people's view of success is, for like me, being a really good dad. That's first and foremost. For me, I want to be a kick-butt dad before anything else. And do I want to see some success when it comes to my business and in the car business? Do I want to see some success going out and speaking to people and hopefully catching a hold of somebody? Yeah, absolutely. But that's my view of success. That doesn't mean that it's yours. A lot of people, especially in high school, right? We're coming out of high school. People aren't thinking of it. Your view of success right now, you're not like, man, I want to be a really good dad or a really good mom. If you are, your parents are like, what the heck are you thinking right now? That is not time for that, right? Right here. He's like, no way. I don't want to hear it, right? So you really need to take the time. And one of the things you have to understand is throughout your lifetime, your view of success coming out of high school is going to be different than your view of success was coming out of middle school or junior high, right? Because you had a certain set of goals, a certain set of things you wanted to achieve coming out of junior high school, and saying, man, I hope I can just get through high school. Especially like at the beginning of your junior or senior year, hey, I hope I can make it one more year, right? And then for some of you here, as the adults and the parents here, they're thinking, okay, well, after you got out of high school, some of you are thinking, hey, I'm going to go take over the family business. Some of you are thinking, I would really like to go, and I really hope I can make it through college, right? And understand that your view of success is the most important. Your view of success is more important as you get through high school, as you approach college. Your view of success is going to be more important than, to you anyway, than what your parents' view of success is for you. Would you agree with that? So when I ask a question, yeah, I'm looking for an answer. Who said yes over here? Dude in the glasses, yes. All right, everybody just practice that one time. Say yes. Yes. Okay, try it one more time. That was a little weak. Say yes. Yes. Okay, we'll keep going. So when I ask a question, it's okay to answer. I promise, all right? Even if you have your mouth full of food, that's cool too, right? Just don't spit on the person across from you. Hold your hand out maybe a little bit, all right? So the things we're talking about, what are the things that help us to achieve success? And like I said, I'm slow walking the first part because I want everybody to stand up and we're going to participate. You have two things. One of the things that I continually tell people when I'm coaching them is talking about running their life on double A's. And everybody looks at me and goes, what do you mean double A's? Is this dumb little 1.5 volt batteries? No. Running your life on double A's, there are two things that will be the most impactful in your life. Regardless, when you're 5 years old, 15, 25, 50, whatever it is, if you run your life on double A's, you will have success. You'll have one of the most impactful lives that you'll take yourself further than even you imagined you could. What I mean by that is there are two things that you can control that you have direct impact on. Anyone want to take a guess what's running your life on double A's? Attitude's one of them.
Adaptability.
Academics, not so much. Once you're out of high school, most of you are going to forget it. Hate to tell you.
Adaptability.
Adaptability, ambition, close, some of them. Appearance, could be, right? You got your attitude is number one and your action, no, not assault. Someone over here says, if I assault someone, yes, if you assault another person, it will dictate the quality of your life, right? At least for a brief time. But your actions and your attitude. Your actions will determine how far you can go in life. Whether it's during high school, after high school, your actions are going to be some of the most impactful things that you do, right? So your actions and your attitude. The thing is, they directly impact one another. Your actions often will dictate your attitude. Your attitude often dictates what actions you take. That's why often, many people you see people that breeze through life, right? They think this is a piece of cake, they walk out, they got a smile on their face, they high five everybody, and they go, how does everything always work for that person? Have we seen somebody like that? Say aye. Right? And then on the other side, you'll see people that it's like no matter what, everything is in the tank. Right? This sucks, that's crummy, everything's terrible, right? It's because those two things directly impact each other so gratefully, their actions and their attitude, right? That the actions that they take correlates with a crummy attitude and their crummy actions, and then you get a crummy attitude, and then there's crummy actions, and you get a crummy attitude. You see where I'm going with it? On the other side, yeah, see, she's getting it. Woo! Give her a round of applause. On the same sort of thing, if you have positive actions, positive attitude, positive actions, positive attitude, it repeats itself. Actions and attitude equal achievement. Whatever you're going to do, right? Anything you do is impacted by those. So, let me ask you guys a question, guys and gals. What does it take to take action? What do you have to do to take action? That's a real question, too.
Yes.
Yes, everybody say yes. All right, what do you have to do to take action?
Anybody? Here, I'm going to ditch the mic because this is just awkward. I talk with my hands. Okay? So what do you got to make a decision first off, right? Let me ask you a question. Anyone know where does the root of decision come from? The word decision. What's the root of the word decision? It comes from deci. It's Latin. It means to cut off. Right? It means to cut off any other possibility. You cut off any other possibility. You make a decision, you cut off any other possibility for another outcome. Does that make sense? So, hey, here's the other thing, too. I had Paige was kind enough to take copies of these note pages. You can use them. You don't have to use them. Just in case I say something profound that you go, man, I could use that in life, then you can write it down. If not, at least keep it. My email's on there. You have a question in the future. Anybody feel free to email me anytime with questions, problems, concerns. Hey, what would you handle in this situation? That's what I do, right? So I know I'm a little ways into this, but if something's said and you go, hey, that really makes sense, write it down. If not, like I said, you can crumple it up, give it to a friend, somebody in need that says, hey, this guy might be able to help, right? I'm not a counselor. I'm not a trained counselor. I'm a realist. Right? So, getting back to where we were, actions and attitudes. So first, you got to make a decision, right? Decision means cutting off any other possibility. You're going to decide to do this, period, right? What's the other thing that you have to do? You got to get motivated, right? Have you been motivated to do something in your lifetime? Most of you, I would say, that are in this room right now are pretty motivated. Would you guys agree with that? Yes. Yes. There we go. Somebody else in the back gets it, right? Before we're over, everyone's going to do it, right? So, what is motivation? Someone answer that for me. See, that's the trick question. Everyone goes, well, what is motivation? I don't know. I just really want something. Right? I'll give you a really simple definition. Motivation is need. That's all it is. Motivation is need. When you need or want something bad enough, you will get up off your butt and you'll go after it. Right? We've all been there. We go, you know what? It doesn't matter. When you were I was 5 years old, I was probably destined to be a car salesman or a speaker because it was like, Mom, 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 I want that. Mom, 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 Mom. We drove from Steamboat Springs, where I grew up, to Denver, Colorado to get my first Transformer. True story. It's about 4 hours. Right? Because I was motivated. As a 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid, I was motivated that all I knew was, man, I've got to have that. It's the newest, coolest thing, right? I saw the commercial for it, and whatever we got to do, I've got to convince my mom to get to Denver, Colorado so I can get this $10 toy. Right? So the question you got to ask yourself is, what's your transformer? What's your go-by? What motivates you? What ignites you? What gets you fired up and passionate about something? Right? Because that's what motivation is. It's whether it's, for some of the adults here, if you're running your own business, if you're working for somebody, if whatever it is, you go, man, I'm going to go after that. And I will tell you that anybody in this room, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish absolutely anything. Anything. The human mind and our physiology, the way we're set up, it is absolutely unbelievable. You can do anything. The first thing is it's a belief system. You have to believe you can do it. You've got to take action. You've got to have the right attitude about it, right? There are all kinds of people. There's these companies out there right now, Kickstarter and Cabbage and all these other places that are just throwing money at people for ideas, and some of them are stupid, right? You go, oh my gosh, somebody paid millions of dollars for that. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Why? Because the person was motivated, they had the right attitude about it, they took the action to go after it, and someone gave them the money to fulfill their dream. You can say, well, they didn't earn that, or they did earn that, whatever it was, they got motivated enough to fulfill their dream, right? So, here's one of my favorite quotes, and I'll share this with you. It's from Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins, also a motivational speaker. He says, one of the things you got to understand is more than anything in life, it's your decisions, not the conditions of your life, that will determine your destiny. It's the decisions you make, not the conditions you accept. It's whatever you decide to do. It's whatever you cut off and you say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to go after, that's how I'm going to hit it. That's what's going to determine where you go in life. Okay? So we've talked a lot about actions, we've talked a lot about attitude. Here's the deal, and we said, hey, one controls the other, right? Here's 3 tips to changing your attitude. Because the first thing you have to do if you want to take action is you got to change your attitude, right? So 3 tips. And these you might consider writing down, as silly and simple as they are, but I would. It was me. Number 1, force yourself to smile. You've got to smile. To change your attitude, you got to smile. You can't have a crummy attitude with a smile on your face. Right? It's impossible for an individual with a negative attitude to make a positive living. It's also impossible to continue with a negative attitude if you have a smile. Everybody do it right now. Just do this. Right? Cheese. I wish I had a camera right now, right? Secondly, you've got to change your physiology. So 1 is smile. 2, change your body language. Right? 3, tell yourself over and over again. Just say yes. Right? So everybody do it right now. Say yes. Yes. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to stand up now. Here we go. All right? Now, everybody stand up. This is easy stuff. Don't worry. Here's what I want you to do. Right? Now, I want everybody all at one time. Everybody say yes. Yes. Okay, say yes? Yes. Now I want you to turn around. I want you to give everybody around you a high five and tell them yes each time you high five. Yes. 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 Right? Give them all a high five. Right? Okay. Yes. Now, hey, here's the good news. You can sit back down. Right? You don't have to stay standing. Some of it's simple stuff. Right? Now, notice what happened when we did that activity. What happened to the noise level in the room? It went up, right? What happened to the energy level in the room? It went up, right? Everybody's smiling. You can't turn around and give someone a high five and smile at them and say, yes, hey, that's great, and be like, wow, that sucks. Right? Have you ever seen someone walking around, you say, hey, how are you doing? Fine. Yeah, you look fine, right? You know, people that genuinely are fine or that are positive, and you say, hey, how are you? I'm great. I'm fantastic, right? I'm absolutely amazing. Their body language is congruent with what they're saying. Do you believe them? Absolutely, right? So here's the next thing. So moving on. Everybody understand actions and attitude. Say yes. 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 Hey, see, now there's more energy and more excitement, more loudness. Because we're talking about FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about management versus leadership. There's a difference. There's a big difference. There's a difference between having a manager title and being the leader. There are people within organizations that are the top leader in the organization from a middle management level. Why is that? Who can tell me? Why is it that some of the top leaders in an organization are not necessarily the ones with the top managerial title? Anybody? Double A's, okay, that's one. I've moved on from that. Any other guesses? Attitudes, true, right? Here's the thing. People can lead from the middle of an organization, right? It doesn't take a manager title to lead other people. It doesn't, right? Managers, normally by the time somebody gets to be a manager, right? And we have some people, and just let me lay the groundwork. No disrespect. My title is manager. Didn't choose it, just happens to be, right? Some days I wish it wasn't, right? They call it, I want to talk to the manager, right? So the thing is, the difference in managers versus leaders. Managers manage things. They manage tasks. They manage to-do lists, right? They're managing by statistics. Managers, here's one of the biggest tips that you need to understand as you're going through high school and you're getting ready to go do something. Managers keep the power. Managers want subjects. I have people to do that for me. Right? No, go do this and go do that. And then managers want to keep the power. The difference is leaders develop other people around them and delegate them to do the tasks. Leaders make themselves invaluable by giving power away. Because a leader can multiply themselves by saying, hey, rather than go do this, let me teach you to do this. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything crazy. Right? She's like, oh, here it comes. Right? Leaders give that power away and they say, here, I want you to accomplish this for me. I'm going to sit down, show you how to do it, accomplish it. Once you're able to accomplish it, guess what? That's your task. If you have somebody in a leadership role, if you have somebody that can perform a task at 80% of the level that you're able to perform the task at, give them the task. Don't get yourself bogged down. The problem is managers want to take all that and they get overwhelmed. Who's the principal and assistant principal? What's the position? You're making eye contact. She's like, yeah, give them the task. There's something going on over here. I read people, right? She's like, no, I was looking for the food over there, right? If they can perform the task at 80% of what you can, let them do the task. You don't have to do it. When you get into a leadership role, or if you're in a leadership role, know that you don't have to do it all yourself. You can do it alongside others. You can teach them how to do it, but you will perform more if you teach. Because if I teach you how to do a task, you how to do a task, you how to do a task, and then I do that. And then there are things that only I am able to accomplish. Will I accomplish more with that team of 4 people than I will by trying to handle those 4 activities myself? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Right? So, and here's one of the things. As we go through this, I got to keep my notes straight too. I was going to work all the way to the back of the room, but then I get away from my notes. Right? One of the differences between managers and leaders. Managers push to achieve the already achievable. Managers go after, they say, well, we have to accomplish this. This is what was accomplished last week, and so that's what we need to accomplish this week. That's what a manager is, right? They go after, they achieve the achievable. Does that make sense? Leaders stretch people. They know they won't hit the goal. They know sometimes they won't hit the goal. But if I said it, if this is what we did last week, do you think we could do more? If this was your best and you achieved an absolutely kick-butt week of productivity, right? This is the best you could do. 6-2. That's it. I'm all in. If that's the best you could do you think you could do more than that next week with the same team of people? Yes or no? Yeah. If it's handled differently, one of the things that you have to do is you got to get in it with other people. You got to get in and do it with it, right? You got to be able to stretch it. You got to be able to push after it. Understand that your best last week is not your best anymore. It's now status quo. You've already achieved it. It was only the best once. It can't still be the best. Does that make sense? So here's the thing. When we're talking about the difference, and I will tell you this, as I'm sitting writing down my notes for this, it dawned on me, and this is one of the simplest things, and I think it's really cool. FBLA stands for what? Future Business Leaders of America. That's correct. Future Business Leaders of America. It's not Future Business Managers of America. Right? You can be a leader from any level in an organization. There are probably people here, and I will tell you this, there are people that, while Paige is the president, right? She's a rock star president, right? Give her a round of applause again. Right? While she's the president, I would have to imagine that while she's the president of that organization, she's the person performing some of those tasks, there are people here right now that are absolute rock stars and perform other activities better than she does. True?
Yes.
It's because of the leader. You put a room of type or a room full of type A leadership personalities, and one of two things is going to happen. Either way, the room's going to explode, right? Right? You're laughing. She's like, yeah, we have explosions from time to time. So here's what I want you to do. I want to try an experiment. I want everybody to stand up again, okay? Sit down and then stand back up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Right? I almost did it. Here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to walk back to this corner of the room, okay? Everybody, you have to trust the people you're sitting next to. Trust the people you're sitting next to, or don't leave your stuff here. Here's all I want to do. Everybody come this direction. Everybody's a participant, unless they're recording something. Or how cool is it? Really cool. I won't make you go outside. Okay? Now here's what's that? Now here's the next thing. Now this way, everybody this way, right? Come on. Back into this corner. I want you to. Okay, now hold that thought. Okay, so is anyone here asleep yet after dinner? You'd like to be, right? Some of you are like, where? I heard one person ask a question. What was the question? Why are we all doing this? I'll tell you in just a minute. It's a good question. Right? Here's the next thing. Now I want you to go, we'll go back this direction. And now on the way back, here we go. You can find your seat again, but don't sit down. You can just find where you were sitting, but just stay standing for a second. Now here's the deal. One person asked, why are we doing it? Right? Who can take a guess? Why are we doing it? Why did we come back to the back of the room? Exercise. One, keep you awake after dinner. Right? Two, here's something you want to understand. That's one of the differences between leadership and management. A leader will walk out in front of you and tell you what you need to do. A leader will move, go back to the same direction, and sometimes you'll end up back in the same place you started. Sometimes you'll end up out in the cold, but I don't want to do that. Right? But the point of the matter is, as a leader, not as a manager, as a leader, you have to be the person that's willing to say, hey, look, let's go after it. And know that sometimes along the way, people are going to ask the question. Right? You just, at the end of it, have to be able to tell them why. So why did we do it? We all got up, we all moved, we all came back to the same place. And the whole illustration is simply, if you ask somebody to follow you, right, and you give them a clear direction, and you walk confidently in that direction, what happens? They'll follow you. That's one of the key differences between management and leadership. Right? Leadership is not just putting yourself out in front. Sometimes you've got to ask people to come along. And then it's out, getting out in front, leading the charge, going after it, right? Hey, follow me. Let me show you how we do this. We're going to walk back to the corner and talk about nothing in particular, then the other corner, and then we're going to head back to our seats. And some of you are still saying, please, can we sit down now? Yes. Yes, you can. Okay? Don't worry, I still have one more activity. So I have one more activity where you have to stand up. And I got what? Do I have 10 minutes left? 15? Half hour? I'm just going to keep going, right? So the last thing I want to talk about tonight, right, is focus and goal setting. When you focus on something, understand whatever you focus on, you'll get more of. Right? Focus is like a laser beam, right? Everybody's familiar with lasers, right? Lasers are what? All they are, focused light. But they can cut through metal, they can cut through, I don't even know, I'm not a laser expert. I just know that they're focused light and they cut stuff. Right? So it doesn't matter, like we talked earlier about the actions and the attitude, it doesn't matter if what you're focused on is good or what you're focused on is bad. If you're focused on it, you're going to get more of it. Who here knows how to ride a bike? Everybody ridden a bike before? Right? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. It may have been a long time ago for some of you, but you get back on and ride a bike. Right? We've all ridden a bike. Now, I just want you to think back in your page file for a minute when you were learning to ride that bike, right? When you were first learning how to ride the bike, and you just got the training wheels off, and you're riding down the street, right? And most of us have encountered this. You're driving down the street, right? You're about 6. I think my sons, both of them were 6 when they learned to ride bikes, right? I think you learned how to ride on a little pink bike, right? That's a real serious deal. He wanted a pink bike when he was little. So you're riding the bike, and you're focused on what? Focused on balance, focused on staying up, and you're focused on not falling. And all of a sudden, there's a mailbox. Some of you are like, oh man, I see where he's going with this. Or there's a rock in the road. And what do you start doing? Don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock. And you end up what? Hitting the rock. Why? Because that's what you're focused on. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, your focus is on the rock. What are you going to do? You're going to steer towards the rock, you're going to hit it. We've all been there, right? Whatever your focus is. Most of you drove here tonight, right? Most of you are drivers.
Yes.
When you started driving, whether it's an automatic or a manual transmission, when you started driving, now this one's a little easier to remember, it's closer for some of us, 16, 17, 18, right? Really close for some of us. And you start driving, what do you have to do, right? Especially in a manual, you're like clutch, brake, first gear, clutch, second gear, clutch, eyes on the road, turn, right? You've got all these things going through your brain, right? Who knows how to drive a manual? Yeah, most of us, right? And so you're going clutch, drive, clutch, shift, clutch, third gear, oh, car dies, right? That was how it was when you started driving, right? Even if it's an automatic, if you're cruising an automatic, what do you got to do? You're like, I'm pulling the stop sign, stop, look both ways, do it, okay, slowly accelerate, oh, car coming, brake, right? You got all these activities that are going through your brain when you started to drive. Everybody can remember that? Can you all visualize that with me? Say aye. Aye. When you got here tonight, some of you don't even remember making the drive. I started at home, I ended up at school, right? And especially the older folks in the room. I know I do that. If you're going from one place, like you're going from home to school, you're going from home to work, there are times you show up at work and go, how the hell did I get here? Right? Because what happened? Your focus changed. Now all you're focused on is getting to work instead of trying to shift, downshift, upshift, right? Clutch, do all this stuff. All that happened was your focus changed, and now it's like, hey, I just want to show up and have dinner, man. They're giving free food. So what was your focus? Get here, get the food, be first in line, right? Go home, right? If your focus is solely on going home, I hope you remember some of this, right? So here's one of the things, and this will be the last activity, and I'll wrap up on this. Professional sports players, Olympians, basketball players, football players, they all go through focus activities. Have you ever seen an Olympian, right? Summer Olympics, for example. So my name's Michael Phillips. I always get confused for Michael Phillips. It's obviously because of my physique. You don't get a body like this by eating right and working out, trust me. Okay? So, anyway, Michael Phelps will step up to the diving board, right? And before they're getting ready to perform the activity, what do Olympians or professional athletes do? What's that? Slaps himself. Okay, what else?
Takes a deep breath.
Takes a deep breath. Focuses in on what he's got to do, and you'll see a lot of Olympians will close their eyes and do what? Visualize and see themselves perform the task. Focus is a very powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Very powerful thing. Professional athletes, it's been proven, the Wall Street Journal, I think the Wall Street Journal, did a study, okay? NFL, anybody here football fans, right? I am. Well, a lot of folks are. If you're not a football fan, have you seen a football game? Yes, perfect. Okay? In a football game, how long is a football game? 4 quarters, 3 hours, 60 minutes, whatever it is. Professional athletes, they've proven, Wall Street Journal says, actual game time, when the ball is in play, how long? Less than that. 11 to 13. 11 to 13 minutes. These guys are getting paid millions, multi-millions of dollars, and the top level players, top level. Peyton Manning's the world. I'm a Peyton Manning. I'm not a Tom. Well, I like Tom Brady as a human being. I think he's a great person, but he's not a Bronco. Right? That's true. So the top level guys or gals in any profession, right? We're talking NFL, top level, 3 to 5 minutes of playing time a week. 3 to 5 minutes. 5 million, 8 million, $25 million, 300 grand. Touch the ball, 3 to 5 minutes a week. But what is it that they do that leads up to that? 5 days of practice, 5 days of focus, running through plays, watching other game film, 6 hours of running the basic stuff every day. These guys, when they get on the field, do they perform anything outstanding? Do they perform miracles? No, all they do is they perform brilliantly at the basic moves. When they show up to practice, right? Baseball players, same thing. Baseball players, they get up and they show up each week to practice, and what do? They bat over and over again. Do the Derek Jeters of the world have to show up, and do they have to do batting practice with the other guys that aren't as good? Yeah, absolutely. They have to show up and do all the same stuff. They have to practice 4, 5, 6 days a week so they can get 3 to 5 minutes of playing time and make their millions of dollars. It's unbelievable, right? So here's one of the things. When we talk about the athletes, right? Do you think that a Peyton Manning, for example, does he go onto the field and expect that he's going to throw a flawless game? Yes or no?
No.
No. He knows that he's probably not going to throw a flawless game, but he's got a contingency plan, right? He focuses on the outcome. What does he want the outcome of the game to be? Win. I want to win, right? I've got a contingency plan, right? I'm going to go after it. I'm going to go after it full force, and they sit and they focus on the win, right? So here's one of the things that I want you to do right now. I want everybody to stand up again, and you need to be in a space, and then I'll close on this. Okay, Paige? You need to be in a space that you can do this. Okay? You need to be in a space that you can do this comfortably, and let's do it this way. And you all need to be facing this direction directly. Directly this way. Okay? Do you guys know how to do the cha-cha slide? No, I'm just kidding. They're like, oh my gosh, that is so fifth grade. Okay, so everybody's facing this direction. Now, here's what I want you to do. You need to be able to have a free range of motion like this. And I'm going to perform an activity with you. You need to be able to look behind you. So, like, you guys here are probably too close together. So,
No, it's fine.
you good? You might get smacked. She's like, won't be the first time. Okay, here's what I want you to do, okay? Can everybody hear me? You guys in the back, can you hear me, right? When I tell you to, what you're going to do is feet are together, and I don't want you to move. We're going to do this a couple of times, okay? Feet are together, you're facing directly, everybody's facing me. When I tell you to, I want you to spin around as far as you can. I want you to look right down the barrel of your fingers, right? Like you're aiming a gun, not at somebody. And I want you to stretch around as far as you can. So it's going to look something like this. Everybody's facing this direction, right? Arm's going to be out, and you don't have to do it yet. You can get ready, but watch me. You're facing this direction. And you're going to point, and you're looking right down the barrel and see what it is that you're looking at. I want you to look right down the barrel of your hand. So I'm like right around below that speaker, okay? So everybody understands the activity, correct? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So everybody arms out in front, just like this. Don't move your feet. I want you to stretch as far as you can. Stretch around, and I just want you to point at Look right at, and remember what you're pointing at. Look right down the barrel of your hand. Now everybody come back to front. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Don't worry, it's a safe place. There's nothing crazy going on. Quick, Colin, go get their wallets. Okay, so everybody close your eyes for a minute. I'm going to walk you through an activity. I want you to come outside of your body and see yourself third person. So you can see you now, right? What that means is you're kind of floating above yourself and you see you standing there. For the guys that play like Modern Warfare, they're like, third person, that's easy. I know exactly what you're talking about, right? So you go out, and I want you to see yourself standing there, and I want you to see yourself stretch and do that same activity again, just in your mind's eye. Okay, you don't have to physically do it. And then I want you to see yourself snap back to front. Then I want you to do it again. Now, the next time you see yourself do it, you're going to see yourself go about a foot past where you were at before. Then snap back to front. Then I want you to perform the activity in your mind again. And you see yourself twist, 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 twist. You can see the barrel of your hand is now shooting about 3 feet past where you were. It's even further, right? And you snap back to front. Now I want you to go back inside your body. You're looking at it first person, and through your mind's eye, I want you to just see it in your head, stretching back now, stretch, stretch, stretch. You're going about 2, 3, 4 feet past where you did the first time. And then snap back to front. Now one more time, in your mind's eye, I want you to see yourself, and I want you to do that same activity, right? Feet are still together, we haven't moved. And all you're going to do is stretch and turn and stretch and turn, and it's almost like your waist is a rubber band, right? Nice little breath, and you're almost 180 degrees now. I want you to be able to see that. And then snap back to front, okay? Now what I want you to do, I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to put your hand out in front of you, and I want you to perform the same activity. Stretch as far as you can, and look down the barrel of your hand. Same activity. Okay? A little bit farther, now back to front. Now let me ask you, who was able to go further? Everybody, right? Why could you go further the second time that we physically did it than the first? Visualized it. You saw it in your mind. You saw what the activity should look like. You look at pro golfers, what do? They step up, close their eyes. In my mind, I'm an amazing golfer. In real life, I suck. Right? But I do better if I see it in my mind before I step up to take a swing. So the moral of the story, as I'm closing here, is, like we said at the beginning, your actions dictate your attitude, dictate your actions, dictates achievement, right? There's a difference between management and leadership. Whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of. And if you slow down and really walk yourself through the activities, sometimes you'll be able to go a lot further than if you hadn't at the beginning. Because a lot of people just jump into the activity. Take the time as a future leader and visualize the activity and then execute on it. You'll be able to go a lot further than you ever thought. All right? So that's all I have. You guys can grab a seat, and then Paige, I'll turn it back over to you. All right?